Folks, welcome back. So there's a lot of confusion in the hobby about where sealed product derives its value over time. And a lot of these questions arose with the video I posted yesterday about the singles and the slabs market. And I showed how the majority, not all, I got a lot of criticism on that video, not all singles, but the majority of singles actually do nothing but erode in value over time. You'll have ups and downs, but the majority of them do nothing but erode in value and eventually go stagnant and then trade in a range over the years. And at the same time, a lot of that sealed product will continue to rise steadily over time. And this causes a lot of confusion, and it causes a lot of criticism from the singles and slabs collectors saying, well, that means the sealed product is overvalued. It shouldn't be rising in value if the singles are falling. It shouldn't be valued that high if the estimated value inside of the set of the singles isn't that high, or there's no grading play or grading chase, and it's got to be manipulated, or people that buying it don't know what they're buying into, things like that. And so I'm going to do my best to explain it to you and explain the sealed market and why it functions the way it does. And at the end, look, you're still feel free to disagree with me. We don't have to agree on this, but at least you'll understand it a little better maybe. And it'll make a little more sense to you. Now, those of you that have followed the channel for a long time, you've probably heard a similar speech to this in a similar video. And so I apologize about that, but there are a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new comers to the hobby that haven't and need to hear this information. And so, hey, it never hurts to watch a movie twice. The second time you watch the movie, you pick up things and scenes that you didn't see before. Same thing with things like this. Never pays. It never doesn't pay to listen to something twice. You might pick up things you didn't the first time, and it might help you. So let's jump into it. First of all, I'm going to give you some examples of sets, right? Darkness Ablaze, okay? Dragon Majesty, Steam Siege, Emerging Powers, okay? These are extreme examples, but there's a ton of other examples as well, where the singles in the set are not worth what the box is, okay? Not only that, the PSA 10 chase of the top singles in the set do not give you the value back of the box. So Darkness Ablaze, the Charizard's about a $20 card, the PSA 10's about $80, the box is $155. Doesn't make sense to single collectors, right? A Dragon Majesty, right? The Ultra Necrozma gold card. Raw PSA 10 is worth nowhere near as much as the ETB sells for, right? Steam Siege, the Gardevoir Secret Rare gold card. The raw PSA 10, it goes nowhere near what the box is selling for. Emerging Powers, same way. And I can give you a ton of other examples. But the whole point is, the value of these boxes are obviously not in relation to what the singles are worth or what the PSA 10 grading plays are worth. Now, I understand that the sets that have higher value cards that people want to chase, that have those god tier rarity grading plays where if you hit a PSA 10, you hit the jackpot, those are going to see increases in value based on that, and they're going to run a little bit more and maybe do a little bit better because of that, but it's not the main factor, okay? And this is the hardest thing for people to hear, but stick with me, all right? Sealed product becomes the collectible. The cards inside do not. People that collect sealed product, especially older sealed product that they don't intend to open, are not buying it because they're wishing the chase cards inside, right? People are not buying a team-up box because they're hoping the Latias Latios or the Gengar Mimikyu might be in that box. They're buying it for the sealed nature, the scarcity, the collectability of that box. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people have heard this before, but listen closely. I'm going to explain to you how these markets function, all right? Singles are always increasing in number, increasing in supply. Every time a pack is opened, there's more singles. Every time that chase cards hit, there's more of it on the market. Now, the population reports, the amount of PSA 9s, PSA 10s in existence are always increasing as well. They don't go down. Therefore, if the supply is always increasing, okay, the demand would have to always be increasing as well at the same rate as the supply, just for prices to hold, okay? If demand ever started to fall and not rise at the same rate the supply is rising, then the price of the singles have to correct and fall to meet that new price point that demand is setting, okay? Now, again, the demand could, in the future, could continue to be higher, and then the supply could start to, curve off as less and less packs get opened, and then you could see another price rise in the future, and that's what you'll see in the singles market from time to time, especially with the older sets, right? However, you're always fighting that supply-demand curve. With sealed product, you're fighting it a lot less because sealed product is always decreasing in supply. Now, in the first 1-2 years, you'll see blips up where things get reprinted and supply goes up. But after the first 2 years or 3 years, the supply is always going down. Therefore, the demand could actually fall, but as long as it's falling at the same rate or a lower rate than the supply is falling, the price of the sealed will always hold, and it could actually go up even though demand is falling off. So with singles, you constantly need the same amount of demand or more demand for those prices to hold and the prices to rise. With sealed product, you don't need this. You don't even need the same amount of demand it has today. It could actually fall in demand, and as long as supply is falling at a faster rate, the price will keep rising and rising and rising. And this is what throws people off because they don't understand the nature of the supply-demand curves. And so, with sealed product, one, people collect the sealed product. I know, I get it. Single collectors, they don't get it. All they see when they see a sealed box is, I want to rip it, I want to pull the chase cards, I want to grade them, I want to put them in my binder, whatever it may be, and all they want is the cards, right? I don't want the cards, right? I'm a sealed collector. There's tons of people like me out there. They want the boxes. So that's the first thing you have to understand, all right? Second thing is, the market is ran by scarcity, okay? People can give these stories about, people have warehouse fulls of these boxes or Pokemon printed billions of cards. These aren't rare, they're not scarce, whatever. They can say whatever they want. The fact of the matter is, when the market becomes scarce, when you log on eBay and TCG Player and there's only 5 or 10 boxes listed, I don't care. There could be 1,000 boxes out there, 100,000 boxes out there. When the scarcity levels hit the mainline markets, though, the price begins to rise because of that scarcity factor. The panic sets in for collectors that I might never be able to get my hands on this box, and the less and less that are listed, the more and more people want for their items because they're playing into that demand and that supply, and this is what rises the markets. And then, when more people want to dump boxes on the market and there's less demand, this is why prices fall, and that's how this works. However, over time, again, there's always less. It doesn't matter what the number is. It could be 1 million boxes, 100,000 boxes, 5,000 boxes. In another 5 years, there's going to be less. There's going to be 4,500 boxes. There's going to be, 80,000 boxes. There's going to only be 500,000 boxes, not 1 million. Every year, more and more get opened. They get lost. They get damaged. Maybe some are in the Florida hurricane, right? Things happen, right? They get caught up in fires. 1 million different things. Lost in shipping. All of these things happen to sealed product over time that causes attrition from the market. And as that happens every time, again, as long as the demand is not going down at a faster rate, the price goes up because the supply went down quicker than demand. And what we see a lot of the time with these markets is demand stays similar, pretty much the same flat line. So if it's the same flat line and singles are going up and sealed products going down, that's why you'll see the singles get cheaper and the sealed product get more expensive in the same set. In the same set. That's why you'll see Steam Siege go from $300 a box to $400 a box, and you'll see Gardevoir go from $40 a card to $30 a card. People are saying this doesn't make sense. The cards are falling, but the box is rising. Doesn't make sense, but it does. Now, when you see prices of the cards go up, a lot of times this will positively affect the box, right? So it'll cause the box price to rise because there's more chase, there's more of it getting opened, maybe there's a great grading play in it. Right? This is why things like XY base are having huge run-ups, is because it was like a $900 box, and now it's a $1,500 box in less than a year. People are saying, well, it doesn't make sense. The single cards are not valuable. They're like $50 cards, but the grading play is valuable, right? So that's another reason boxes will rise, right? If the grading play is so hard to get in a PSA 10 and you can't find near mint copies anywhere else, the only place you can go is the new packs. Well, then people will open the boxes, they'll try to pull that card, grade it a 10, hit a home run, hit a grand slam, but that also takes more product away from the market every time that happens. And so everything that happens over time after all the reprints are over and the first 2 to 3 years are over is positive for sealed product, and it's negative for singles. This is not to say that you can't do well in the singles market. People have entire businesses dedicated to singles, whether it be selling the bulk for huge margins, whether it be buying raw copies and grading them for margins, whether it be just buying in at the lows and then waiting for things to recover and then selling in into the highs. Now, over a long period of time, this may look like this and very stagnant, but there are all kinds of buys and sells to do all around that time, and so people can do very well in the singles market. However, over time, the majority of singles never have that nice, steadily rising curve like a lot of the booster boxes do because of all the reasons I mentioned. And so Hopefully this was an in-depth look at why these markets move the way they do, and it gives you a little better understanding of it. Even if you don't agree with me and you think that, boxes should be closer related to what the singles cost, I understand that. Or what the grading plays are worth, I understand that. But it's simply just not how things work. These markets work on scarcity. They're emotional. A lot of times, a lot of these plays are momentum based, and it doesn't work the way you always think. And when you invest in things, you can't worry about what you feel. You need to worry about what the market tells you and what other people feel, and play into it. And that's how you can make money in this hobby. And so, hope that helped clear things up. And then all the criticism I got on the other video. By the way, when I say criticism, I don't mean hate, right? Haters, those are the ones that come in, they say, negative things, or they try to get you going, just throwing shots at you, and they leave. No, that wasn't any of these people. I'm not saying anything about anyone that negatively commented on the other video. No, all you guys were doing the right thing. You were criticizing my stance on the singles market, and you were giving examples, and you were just challenging my opinion. And that's great. That's what needs to happen in this hobby, actually. But I still stand by what I said, because there's always going to be outliers. There's always times in the market you can time singles and play singles and do well. There's always grading plays. You can do well kind of sloshing around in the singles market. But I still feel over time, on average, you're going to have a lot better opportunities, and you're going to have a lot less risk, and you're going to see a lot more normalized gains in sealed than you are singles, because of all the reasons I listed. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back here in a new video soon. I'm out.